Hello and welcome to Self-Reliant India. I'm Nancy Kohli, and over the course of 1 hour today we'll be discussing about the quality and the affordable medicines through the Jan Aushadhi Kendras, as the Jan Aushadhi scheme is spreading across the length and breadth of the country. We'll be talking more about that in the next 1 hour. Let me also introduce our guest who will be joining us shortly here on DD India. We'll be joined by Mr. Rajneesh Tingle. He is the Joint Secretary in the Department of Pharmaceuticals, the Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers. Also Dr. Padmanabh Kamath, Professor and the HOD at the KMC Hospital in Mangalore in Karnataka. We'll also be joined by Mr. B.R. Sikri, he is the Pharma Committee member at FICCI. Also Ms. Sushmi De, Assistant Editor at the TOI. So we'll be joined by these guests in just a bit, but today we'll be talking about the Jan Aushadhi Kendras and really how the medicines, the affordable medicines have already been are being made affordable and provided across the country there. All right, let me go across now to our guests here. Let me go across to Mr. Rajneesh Tingle here, joining us here as well. Mr. Tingle, first of all, your comments as far as Jan Aushadhi Kendras are concerned. The focus there clearly being on providing the affordable medicines, quality healthcare, the quality medicines there to the people of this country, and the scheme spreading across the length and breadth of the country.
Thank you, ma'am, and thanks for inviting me on this program. As all of you know, the country is called as pharmacy of the world. We do provide generic medicine all over the world, but like our own citizens have been deprived to a kind of not getting these medicines, and in order to provide affordable quality generic medicines to the citizens of the country, the government has launched this scheme of Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Jan Aushadhi Pariyojana, wherein we do provide through our stores spread all across the country. Now we are open in all the districts of the country, and the Honorable Prime Minister had opened the 75th 100th store in the
absolutely
store. So this is a scheme where we intend to provide quality medicines to the citizens. Thank you.
Right. Mr. Rajneesh, you're talking about, of course, the 7,500 Jan Aushadhi Kendra. Would you say that's marked a major milestone as far as, providing the affordable healthcare services across the country is concerned?
It's a milestone if you consider that the scheme was initially launched in the year 2008.
Right.
And till 2014, we had just 86 stores, that is less than 100 stores. And in the last 6 years, from this 100 stores, we have reached this milestone of 7,500 stores. And we have a vision to extend it further, and we intend to reach 10,000 stores by March 2024. So this is really a landmark for us.
Okay. And what more vision has been set really as far as making the Jan Aushadhi Kendras, becoming a very big companion of the poor and the middle class families, but also in fact providing service and employment to the people of this country?
Yes. So maybe it's two-pronged strategy, you can say. It's on one side, we are providing affordable medicines to the citizens. And this, on the other hand, it's a opportunity for self-employment. Like all the employed youth of this country can open the stores, and they can have avenues of self-employment, and the citizens through these medicines can save their well-earned money. So it's both ways.
Yeah, absolutely. And what would you like to share with us as far as in terms of the lives of the people that have changed, to a great extent after the introduction of the Jan Aushadhi scheme? They are being provided with affordable medicines, quality healthcare. How really their life has transformed with the scheme?
So it's not simply a scheme, a normal scheme. It is a scheme which has touched all the citizens of the country. And when the citizens do get, patients get these medicines, with these medicines are almost, we have a principle, a guideline that our medicines would be at least 50% cheaper than the branded medicines.
Right.
These medicines are at least 50%, but in some cases these are 80 to 90% cheaper than the branded medicines. So citizens can take care of their health, can uh, reduce their monthly expenditure, and we do interact with them. And I hope your visitors would have seen yesterday, Honorable Prime Minister on the Jan Aushadhi Divas. We did celebrate Jan Aushadhi Divas yesterday, 7th March, and Prime Minister did interact with the beneficiaries also, and they had provided how in their own life each and every patient was benefited.
Absolutely. And, also, Mr. Rajneesh, making healthcare affordable is, clearly at the center of the scheme. And like you're also mentioning, how the prices of the essential drugs as well as the medical devices have, reduced manifold. So this has really made the lives of the people very easy in terms of, them getting, access to affordable medicines. And of course, healthcare remains a primary concern among the people. When that is taken care of and when that aspect is fulfilled, clearly it leads to so much transformation and really making the life so easier.
Yes, I completely agree with what you're saying. And so, and this healthcare is a prime focus of the government. And basically in this present budget, expenditure outlay of the healthcare has been enhanced quite substantially. And this is like in the department, we also do have a NPPA that is also helping in this way by basically controlling and monitoring the prices of the medicine, scheduled as well as non-scheduled medicines. And through these stores, we are providing the best quality medicines, generic medicines to the citizens.
All right, let me also bring in Mr. B.R. Sikri here at this point. He's the Pharma Committee member at FICCI. Sir, your comments here as far as, Jan Aushadhi scheme, they are really becoming a success, and how this has really transformed the lives of the people on the ground, because what we're looking at is a very basic need, which is that, making the healthcare affordable, making quality healthcare affordable, and providing medicines also to the people of this country.
Thank you, madam. First of all, let me congratulate all of you. Today is a Women's Day, and luckily, women is doing the anchoring. So that shows that how serious is the government. As far as coming to the Jan Aushadhi scheme is concerned, I can say that Jan Aushadhi scheme is the Atma of Atmanirbhar Bharat. It is so. The reason is, government took this initiative in 2008. Somebody said that every good thing will have a ridiculous beginning. When you start something, people will start laughing at you. And when this Jan Aushadhi scheme was launched, even many other countries as well as within the industry, within the country also, people were not confident about this scheme. But it was really a marvelous scheme. Today, with the authority, Mr. Rajneesh is talking to the audience, to the viewers, to the public at large. The reason is there is a seriousness on the part of the government. And is the industry which has been able to provide the affordable medicine to the government, so that government is in a position to implement this scheme successfully. So basically, it's a win-win situation as far as industry is concerned, as well as government is concerned.
Okay. Mr. Sikri, also, of course, the theme this year is Seva Bhi, Rozgar Bhi, and this is what the scheme is also touching upon. We are looking at, it being a medium of providing service to the people, but also employment to the people of this country. So clearly a two-pronged approach that's being fulfilled through the Jan Aushadhi scheme.
100% it is going to be a very great scheme as far as employment is concerned. The reason is, last year percentage of the unemployment, if I remember correctly, it was around 7 to 8%. Many states it is more. And these are the drop in ocean. I don't say that the Jan Aushadhi scheme is going to bring drastic changes in the employment scenario, but it is the beginning on the part of the government, because they are encouraging the youth and the entrepreneur. And that is itself is going to be make an individual as a self-employed. And the availability of product also has to increase. If government really wants to strengthen this Jan Aushadhi scheme, they have to sit with the industry, because they are not able to provide the number of medicines which are in the market. But beginning is there, sincerity is there, sincere efforts are there, and government intention is there. If the number of products can be increased, if the number of warehouse also government has to increase. 137 crore population, they having only few number of warehouses, because this supply chain and distribution channel also plays a very vital role as far as the are concerned. So my recommendation to the government that number of warehouses have to go up, the IT has to play a vital role, and supply chain has to be more stronger than it is today. And it will be a wonderful scheme. Industry is always standing with the government.
Sure.
Will be standing with the government in future too.
Absolutely. We'll, we'll talk more about what more measures can be taken to strengthen the supply chains, Mr. Sikri, in just a bit. But I would also like to, delve a bit into the aspect of promoting and increasing the outreach of the generic medicines. How is that being achieved through the Jan Aushadhi scheme?
Basically, Jan Aushadhi objective was making quality product, affordable product available to the common man.
Sure.
And that objective of the government is slowly and gradually being achieved. But having the initially, what Mr. Rajneesh has pointed out, they were able to have only very few, I think hardly 80 stores were there in the initial few years. Subsequently, they changed the second gear and third gear. Now they are in a mood to go for fifth gear. If the reason is 750 district, it means average you have a 10 generic store in one district, average. Maybe some district it may be more, some district it may be less. So there are 7-8 lakh chemist retail counter in the country. So if you compare with the availability of the product, so it is too lesser number, but government intention is serious. Even 2-3 days back, we heard that government is going to propose 10,000 stores in 2-3 years time. So they have to gear up the working so that today 67-65% population is in the villages.
Right.
And unfortunately 17 to 18% of the masses are able to have availability of medicine to them. Balance 46-45% are deprived of the medicines also. Even industry is also equally responsible for that. So we have to sit together to ensure that the people who are deprived of these medicines by virtue of this Jan Aushadhi scheme, and even government has declared wellness center also. Government has declared Ayushman Bharat also. So these three schemes, Wellness Center, Jan Aushadhi, as well as Ayushman Bharat, these are the role of the government scheme which can do really wonders. But we have to have synergy and joint meeting, discussion, deliberation, so that not only quality product. For example, when they ask about the industry to provide the medicine, affordable medicine, see, anybody having a valid license should be permitted to manufacture Jan Aushadhi product. But unfortunately, sometimes the condition is put turnover criteria. Why to have turnover criteria? If I am having a license, I am having a valid documentation, my factory is approved, my manufacturing, so government should encourage, it is a small scale which will be able to fulfill the dream of the government as far as Jan Aushadhi scheme is concerned. So my recommendation to Mr. Rajneesh through this channel, that if we really want, it is a small scale, it is the backbone of the industry. It's backbone of the country also. So you have to sit only with small scale and ensure don't put any condition. Yes, quality, there is no compromise, no shortcut route. It has to be super A-class product, which I am using for my own children also. But you have to have the flexibility in the tender system. Thank you.
All right, absolutely. On that note, we're taking a short break here. We'll be joined by 2 more guests after the break. Stay with us.
Namaste India.
Namaste land.
Marhaban ila al-Hind.
Zari India.
Ni hao.
Salam India.
Namaste India.
Namaskar Bharata.
Muy
Nous
India.
sommes land.
نحن هنود.
India.
माँ हिंदी हस्ती
Mung Hindian.
Salam Hindustan.
We are India.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching Self-Reliant India here on DD India. We have two more guests joining us here on the show. Dr. Padmanabh Kamath, he's the professor and the HOD, the KMC Hospital, Mangaluru. We also have Ms. Sushmi De. She's the assistant editor at the TOI. Thanks to both of you very much for joining us here on DD India. Dr. Kamath, if I can come to you first, as a doctor, first of all, your comments here, analysis as far as this scheme has been really changing the lives of the people there. The focus there clearly being, providing affordable health care, the quality medicines. How would you share with us, with our viewers today, as to how really this scheme has transformed the lives of the people?
Good morning. Thanks for the invite, and I really appreciate the efforts put in by the BPPI. Sachin Singh ji and Dheeraj Sharma ji, Abhishek ji. I'm very happy to be speaking to you all today. Just let me start off with an inaugural comment.
Sure.
That, this project, which I spoke to the Honorable PM yesterday, Janaushadhi Janopayogi, really caught on to the PM. He actually praised that term, and he was so happy with that term when I coined the term Janopayogi Janaushadhi. Just to recapitulate, in the year 2018, I started this project called as Kaikal. Now you may wonder why I started this project. This was involving all the network of Janaushadhis in our region. I started with our district, that is South Canara district in Karnataka,
right.
And they started on branching out into the neighboring districts. Now we have 6 districts which have been networked through this Kaikalpa project, which is nothing but the ECG network of all the Janaushadhis who have got good footfalls, who have got the like-mindedness of our project, and also the owners are eager to continue with this project. Now when I started this project in the year 2018, the stimulus or the inspiration was to show that Janaushadhi can really do something value-added service. So I call it a value-added service. See, to beat the private lobby is not easy. The online medicines, the private lobby, where it and my the project or my what I think is only by service you can beat the people who are already in the frame.
Sure.
Now I'm sure that Janaushadhi, with the networking they have, they can get the best service. So that was the background behind starting this Kaikal project, which is nothing but incorporation of value-added service into the Janaushadhi domain. So what I did was, initially I networked all the Janaushadhis which are in the Karnataka, started collecting the data. This was in the year 2018, where there were not many Janaushadhis that time, and started calling them individually, and I told them that, are you interested in becoming part of this project? And whoever was like-minded, whoever was interested, they were included in this study and this project rather. And then I started giving the ECG machines to those areas which are in a vantage position, which have got great connect to the public, and which have got very difficult terrain, in the sense, if a patient has got to walk more than 10 kilometers, or even if it is a far off, in the hilly area. So these were the Janaushadhis we targeted. And once we started installing the ECG machines, people came to know that there is a ECG machine available. There was better connect, and you see the private lobby cannot beat the service. When you beat them with the service, they will keep quiet. It is not the revenue. It is not the revenue generated. You generate the blessings of the patients. That will beat the private. And that is what I wanted Janaushadhi to do, because the pet project of the PM was very close to my heart. Okay. I just silently did this project in the year 2018. Now, in the last 3 years, we have networked 6 districts. Of course, with the COVID, there was a little bit of slowdown, but we have been able to network around 20 Janaushadhis, which have got a huge presence in the respective districts.
Sure.
And they are able to connect with the patients. And now, whenever a patient has a heart attack or heart-related ailment or any symptom, they will directly go to the Janaushadhi, get the ECG done, because there is a person who is stationed there in the Janaushadhi, He is trained to do the ECG. He does the ECG and sends it to the group, a WhatsApp group, and and there are 2 more cardiologists in the group. They give the report immediately. So you see the connect with the patients directly. Patient who's 200 kilometers away from my place, if he gets a chest pain and he does the ECG is transmitted to me. He doesn't even know who is the cardiologist, but it is the language of the heart.
Sure.
That is what binds us together. And this is what we did. And slowly over the years, 2018, 19, 20, 20, now we have got around 20 Janaushadhis who are in this network.
Okay.
And I have included all the non-ECG Janaushadhis also, because they get inspired seeing the work. There is nothing better. There's nothing better than inspiring others. So I get requests from various Janaushadhis. Sir, I saw that ECG being reported in this particular Janaushadhi. I also want to be that. I also want to be in that project. So they get inspired. They come forward and volunteer themselves to be in this project. So what started as a mere 1 or 2 ECG machines, the Janaushadhi Janaupayogi project, now it has spanned across 6 districts. And this is the best way to answer the critics of all those people who say Janaushadhi medicines are spurious, they may not be having that much potency. All those things will be put to rest the moment your service is paramount, and you do that, they will all keep quiet.
All right, Dr. Kamath, we'll come back to you, and thanks for that detailed inputs there. Let me go back, let me go across to Ms. Sushmi. They here also joining us. Ms. Dey, your comments here as far as Jan Aushadhi scheme there, it has really changed the lives of the people on the ground, and like Dr. Kamath was also sharing from his own experience as to how really the ECG became so very accessible to the patient, and of course the ECG report would then be circulated, and of course the patient would then be rightly recommended by the respective cardiologist. So how this has really made healthcare so accessible, affordable. There's of course easy accessibility, there's of course cost reduction, savings, and one of the very important pillars of our lives that we are looking at is the healthcare sector really being strengthened through the Jan Aushadhi scheme.
Right. As Dr. Kamath just pointed out, that the scheme has undergone a huge transformation over years now.
Sure.
So even if we have to look at the number of stores which were there, say around 3 to 4 years ago, and now, so around 2018, I think there were some 4,000 odd stores across the country, and like Prime Minister yesterday said that now there are close to 7,500, which is almost double the number, and we have been the government has been able to cover all the districts, which is a huge achievement. Having said so, I would also I would still feel that there's need for more, and one district is probably not enough in a country like ours, with such a population. So the expansion has to go on, but this is a great achievement. Along with that, the presence of the stores, what has improved is the services as well as the medicines or the products available at these stores. I remember in the initial years, the scheme was actually rolled out in its in its very basic form during the UPA government, but it didn't pick up because of the absence or lack of products available in the stores.
Right.
So you used to find really soaps and creams at Jan Aushadhi stores. So from there now it has come to make ECG available. Even most of the cardiovascular, cancer, oncology drugs at the cheapest prices are available in these stores. And these almost all government hospitals are having these stores. So the accessibility has improved. Also the product portfolio has improved. Now these stores also have some I think 75 or so Ayush products.
Right.
They are selling. For last 2 years, they've been selling sanitary pads, which is exactly what you require, because these stores are meant to provide medicines to those who can't really afford, and also bring down the prices, overall prices of medicines. But to make healthcare more affordable to poor and middle class, these stores have to be there in the remote areas and hilly areas, where accessibility accessibility is a problem and affordability is also a major issue. So when you make sanitary pads available for a rupee or two, then it makes a huge difference in women's health. And it is not just about, and though very importantly about menstruation, hygiene and all, but it is also linked to various other women-related diseases.
Absolutely.
And we have seen in surveys and all that how this is this whole issue of periods is not just related to health and hygiene, but also related to dropout, school dropout, people not being able to attend to their work. So there is an implication on economic and social activities. So what I'm trying to say is that one thing linked to the other. So there is a huge chain which gets impacted if health is not there. So like they say, health is wealth. So Jan Aushadhi stores have overall made a huge difference, and the availability of medicines. Also, you pointed out affordability. So there are savings because the medicines which are available in these stores are much cheaper than the branded medicines. The whole idea of making generic drugs available in the store itself is unique and provides and supports affordability to a great extent. But it also supports the Indian industry, Indian pharmaceutical industry. So a unique thing, and over the years it has developed, it has improved, and in terms of reach, in terms of pricing, in terms of product portfolio, which is very, very important.
Absolutely. So the Jan Aushadhi scheme has not just addressed the health issues, but also in fact the societal, the economic issues as well. Let me go back to Dr. Kamath here at this point. Dr. Kamath, okay, we'll come back to our guests in just a bit. We're taking a short break here. We're back with more.
A global pandemic that's causing havoc worldwide. Search for an effective vaccine is on. Until then, the only option is caution and prevention. Now that the country has opened up under Unlock 5, it's all the more critical that we don't let our guard down. Face mask has been found to be the most effective means to fight the spread of COVID-19. World Health Organization and various researchers have also found that masks are critical in mitigating the spread of COVID-19. When you wear a mask, you protect yourself and people around you. Wearing a face mask helps prevent the spread of COVID-19, but only if worn properly.
बिना मास्क या फेस कवर के घर से बाहर निकलने की अभी कल्पना करना भी सही नहीं है.
Be a part of DD India campaign. Mask Up India. Come and join our initiative to fight COVID-19. Share your stories of masking up with us on Facebook and Twitter.
Mask Up India.
It's a simple task. Just wear a mask.
Mask Up India.
Mask Up India.
Mask Up India.
Welcome back. You're with us here on Self-Reliant India. Let me go back to Dr. Kamath at this point. Dr. Kamath, I was asking you about, one important point that you mentioned as far as the quality and the efficacy of the medicines provided here at the Jan Aushadhi Kendra. So, what more is being done to spread more awareness, giving more assurance to the people there as far as, the efficacy, the quality, the safety of these medicines is concerned?
Good that you raised that point. See, initially, there were a lot of apprehension about using the Jan Aushadhi medicines, especially in the cardiovascular armamentarium, because when you have a patient who is on cardiac drugs, and if these are the drugs which are life-saving drugs, and sometimes if these drugs are stopped or if these drugs are not so efficacious, patient can have a event in the sense he can have a stent thrombosis, he can have a acute heart attack, or even the worst complication, mortality, that is death. Now, initially there were a lot of apprehension whether the quality of drugs are good or not. So I have been prescribing now Janaushadhi medicines for more than 3 or 4 years, and most of the drugs, because we prescribe mainly the drugs, the antiplatelet agents, the statins, and the drugs which are used for angina. I want to say that most of the drugs have got very good efficacy, and till date I haven't had any patients who have come back to me with a adverse event due to the medicines, ineffective medicines. Most of the time the event has been due to non-compliance on the part of the patient rather than the ineffective medicines. The patient has stopped the medicine on his own without any medical supervision, and then the blame has come on the medicines because he was on these medicines. So when you go back into the history, they tell I stopped it for 3 days because I felt acidity, I felt some
So in that scenario, Dr. Kamath, is a follow-up being done with the patient whether they are continuously taking the medicine or no?
Yes. Yes, that's what we do. See, that is how this project, Janaushadhi Janaupayogi, or the Kaikal project which I have undertaken for the last 3 years. What happens is when they go to the Janaushadhi, they are already, immediately they are enrolled into this system, and the number of days they take the medicines after the ECG is being done, after the blood pressure is checked, after the sugar is checked. They are enrolled into the scheme, and that particular Janaushadhi owner calls them at regular intervals just to ascertain whether the medicines are being taken or not. Of course, he will not meddle with the medicines. He will just ensure that the medicines are taken or not. And also, patient gets feedback from doctor also, that the moment the ECG is done and the ECG is sent to that particular treating doctor, doctor is happy because I will tell you, the mentality among Indian patients is if they get the medicines, they will forget the doctor. They will go to the doctor only when they have a problem. So we are tapping on this, ideology of our patients, that if they go to the shop, they will definitely can be tapped. So this, you may ask how I got this concept. See, in the US, blacks were, who are hypertensives, they were not ready to get their blood pressure checked. If we go to their house, they will not get the blood pressure checked. Of course, they have a high propensity for a hypertension. So what someone did was, they kept the blood pressure machine in the barber shop. So invariably you will go to the barber shop for whatever style you want to do. So when they sat in the barber shop, they are anyway jobless that time, and the haircutting is done. So the one BP reading is taken, and if it is high, they are told that when you have a high reading, please ensure that you check your BP again. So that again is a red flag. Now that concept was really important to me. The barber shop analogy, I call it. So that is exactly what I did with the Janaushadhi Janaupayogi scheme in the year 2018. When a patient goes to buy medicine, you catch him. The person sees, he's a diabetic, he's a hypertensive, he's on heart medicines. You tell, I will check the sugar, free of cost. You check the sugar. Sugar is high. Then you tell him, there's no point taking sugar medicines. If your sugar is high, your sugar is showing a 400 range. Okay, you check the BP and tell the person, your BP is still high. You're taking 3 medicines. There's no point taking 3 medicines if your BP is not controlled. Because he is blindfolded. He doesn't know. He doesn't want to go to the doctor because he's getting the medicines. But moment you alert them, they are ready to go to the doctor. Same way, incorporated ECG also, along with the blood pressure, sugar, and ECG. Do the ECG in the needy patients. Not all. It's not possible to do ECG for all patients. It is time consuming, and also it will encroach upon your space. The Janaushadhi owner will find it difficult to do ECG when there is a busy hour. But if a patient is already on cardiac medicines and he is experiencing symptoms and is averse to going to the hospital, that time, if the patient comes to the Janaushadhi and if ECG is being done or that ECG is transmitted in the group, there's nothing like that. So basically what we did was catching on to this, inspired by this barber shop analogy, kept all the value-added services in the different Janaushadhis across our state. And I'm sure this should be the order of the day in our future implementation of any policies, because I'm sure if a small project like mine can do this much, I'm sure the government can really implement this across the country, and I'm sure it will have a paradigm shift in the way we look at Janaushadhi.
Absolutely. The impact is being felt there on the ground, Dr. Kamath, and of course, great work done by you there as well, as far as making these Janaushadhi Kendras, and of course the health of the people is at the center, of all the policies. If you could also share with us more.
Just to interrupt you, when you said center, my slogan was to make Janaushadhi Kendras center of excellence. That was the slogan I gave. Of course, in addition to what I told, Janaushadhi Kendras should be made Janopayogi Kendras and the center of excellence, just not Janaushadhi center.
Okay. And what more measures are being taken? Of course, you told us about the value-added services, the innovative measures that, of course, have been devised, for the good of the patients. But what more measures are being taken to strengthen the supply chains of these medicines?
Yeah, of course. There were a lot of criticism in the beginning that there was not much supply from the depot and all those things. But of late, I'm hearing that supply is commensurate with the demand, and I'm not too sure whether there is any supply-demand mismatch in other areas. But the place where I live, Bangalore, we really haven't encountered any supply-demand problem. But of course, there has been some murmuring among the Janaushadhi owners in the villages and some places where there is a supply issue. But I'm sure an organization like PPPI, which is such a huge organization, can look into all these things, the supply-demand problems, because supply is something is their prerogative, and we give the demand. If supply is commensurate with the demand, I am sure it is a win-win.
Okay. All right. Let me bring in Mr. Sikri at this point. Mr. Sikri, of course, many other measures apart from what Dr. Kamath has just in fact shared with all of us is, of course, strengthening of the Janaushadhi schemes through the new incentive plan, to make the scheme more attractive. Of course, there was inclusion of 75 Ayush medicines there in the product basket. How much, to what extent would you say that these innovative methods have helped in making the Janaushadhi scheme more attractive and more accessible?
Thanks, madam. I would like to convey my sincere thanks and gratitude to Dr. Kamath.
Right.
Because he has touched three areas of our concern. One, he was talking about ECG. Secondly, he was talking about the value addition. And third, he was talking about the efficacy and quality of the product. I'm very happy to listen from a doctor about the efficacy. About 4 or 5 years back, Government of India conducted survey for NSQ, not of general quality product. What is the ratio and percentage of the product where there is a problem of the quality? I'm very happy to share Mr. Rajadish was not there at that point of time when this survey was conducted. The industry has been able to prove to the masses, to the population, to the government, as well as to the outside countries also, that rarely 0.002% was the NSQ, not general quality. So it means it is a very responsible industry.
Right.
Government is serious, industry is serious. Now I come to Finance Minister budget was talking about the 6 pillars, and the first and foremost and the important pillar was healthcare. And our pharmaceutical industry has got 3 pillars. One is accessibility, second is availability, and third is affordability. Now, as far as affordability is concerned, if you really want to strengthen Janaushadhi scheme, the availability is primary, affordability is secondary. Because if it is not affordable to manufacturer will not give it to the government for selling. So now 68 to 70% dependability of our production is on China and many other countries for the raw material. Of late, very recently, there is a suddenly increase in the raw material input cost, which is going to result into end product also. So government has to come forward, although PLI scheme is a boom for the industry, for the country, for the nation also. But the question is, today suddenly input cost goes up, it is the Aushadhi also which will get affected. NPP is proactive, no doubt about that. But there has to be a mechanism. As soon as the input cost goes up, now not only raw material, even printing, even the PVC, even the solvent, everything is gone because of the petrol and diesel and many factors are there. So availability is major factor, affordability is next to that, and then only patient will be able to have the accessibility. Now Dr. Kamath talk about the value addition. To strengthen the Jan Aushadhi, my recommendation to Mr. Rajneesh, that number one, to strengthen this scheme, you have to have more centers, which already you have mentioned government is serious, and by 2024 you said you are going to have 10,000. Secondly, addition of more molecules. Because for example, oncology, anti-cancer product, it is a very big challenge. The cost is so exorbitant, patient really literally cries. Our products government is making available, but there can be special focus, special categorization for anti-cancer product where the cost is very high. Because if via Jan Aushadhi, 80 to 90% government is able to give cheaper, what else a patient needs? What else a common man needs? In addition to that, I want to recommend that more, as I told in the beginning, warehouses should increase, supply chain should increase, number of depots should increase, number of surgical items should increase, number of molecules should increase, so that every nook and corner of the country, even the remotest villages also should have. And one more strong point which I want to recommend, why this retail counters, chemist shops are successful, which are very near to the hospital. The reason is, Dr. Kamath has talked about the psychology of the patient. Now, if you see, the poor man who goes to the Jan Aushadhi center is really genuinely poor person. When he goes to the hospital, suppose hospital is in Trans Yamuna in Delhi and medicines are available in Janakpuri, the poor fellow has to come for 2 hours by DTC bus. So the availability of medicine has to be very near to the polyclinic or government hospital or wellness center or dispensary. For example, in the budget, 17 new emergency healthcare center finance minister has mentioned. So my recommendation to the Department of Pharma, that please ensure those 17 new centers which you are going to have, wellness center in the future, as per your budget announcement, these type of Jan Aushadhi centers should be open next to that. And now the question comes, how is it possible? Jan Aushadhi center needs hardly 120 square feet area. Less than where you are sitting or where I am sitting. Nothing else is needed.
So let's put that to Mr. Rajneesh here. Mr. Rajneesh, taking forward what Mr. Sikri is suggesting, what can you share with us as far as the roadmap, the vision ahead is, as far as establishing more centers is concerned? And like Mr. Sikri was rightly mentioning about the anti-cancer drugs, those are very expensive drugs and very difficult for a common man to really afford those medicines. And in fact, the treatment as well. So the oncology department needs to be strengthened. And even after that, I feel once a cancer patient recovers, there's so much more that's involved really. There's therapy, there's speech therapy, there's physiotherapy. So what arrangements are being made in the Jan Aushadhi Kendras, if any? Can you share with us, for the betterment and the better treatment of such patients, and more warehouses also, like Mr. Sikri was mentioning about?
Thank you, ma'am. And very valuable suggestions have been made by Dr. Kamath, Mr. Sikri, and Dr. Dey also. I'd like to respond to few of them. First thing is just not the number of stores we are expanding, is the product basket is also being expanded. As of now, about 1,450 drugs and about 200 surgical items are there. And this has been substantial jump. And we also intend to increase the product basket to about 2,000 drugs and about 300 surgical items. So this is one part. Second, doctors, Mr. Sikri referred to about the supply chain. So in this regard, I'd like to mention that presently what we have is a central warehouse at Gurgaon and 2 warehouses at Chennai and Guwahati. We are in the process of opening 2 more warehouses, one in the central India and one in the western India. In addition, there are 37 distributors all across the states, which also provide this medicine to the stores. We also have a online system where recruitment, where basically they can make the request, and the requests are of the store owners are provided as fast as possible. About the quality, Dr. Kamath has of course mentioned, and Mr. Sikri also certified. So I'll just maybe like to add in that.
Sure.
First thing is that we procure drugs from WHO GMP certified manufacturers only. All batches of drugs are basically tested at the NABL labs. And we also have prepared quality standard operating procedures. So there's no issue. I can guarantee our drugs are best drugs, and there's no issue about the quality of drugs.
Okay.
About opening of stores at the places where there's more footfall. Actually, this we are taking up with all the state government. We are requesting the state government that all state hospitals and the primary health centers, they should basically provide the space. So at least the patient, in case when he visits the government hospitals, he can just have, there's a Jan Aushadhi store available at that place. And we are in the process of basically in state collaboration, we will be opening more stores at the government premises.
Okay.
Also have Mr. Sikri referred that maybe some places hospital and Jan Aushadhi store, there will be gap. So we also have a mobile app. This is called Jan Aushadhi Sugam, which basically provides location of all the Jan Aushadhi stores.
Kendras, yeah.
And with the Google Map, especially they can locate it, and even in the app they can just download it, and they can even check comparable branded to the generic medicine and how much is the price difference therein. Dr. Kamath did refer to number of things. So as a doctor, I'll basically, this is my request that more and more doctors should come forward and prescribe generic medicines. This is a one request we have offered all the doctors. Like if you have given me an opportunity, I'll also like to add, Dr. Day did mention about Jan Aushadhi pads, basically what we are providing, Suvidha pads. So maybe on this day of International Women's Day, I'd like to just inform your viewers that 2 or 3 things. First, out of our 7,500 stores, about 1,000 stores are opened by the women. So it's basically an opportunity for self-employment opportunity for women.
Sure.
We also have just liberalized and revised the incentive scheme, where one-time incentive of about 2 lakhs is provided to stores opened by women, and there are some other categories also. And I'll also just like to reiterate about this Suvidha pads. So this is a pad which is available at 1 rupee per piece.
Okay.
At our stores, at our all stores. And this comparable branded product would be in a range of 7 to 10 rupees per pad, and we are providing these Suvidha pad, and these are also biodegradable pads. So these are also environment friendly also. And about till now, more than 11 crores these napkins have been sold to our stores. In addition to this pad, basically we also have introduced Jan Aushadhi Janani, which is basically a supplement for the pregnant and lactating mothers, and other nutraceuticals also.
Okay.
These are a few things I'd like to share and to respond to other.
I would like to intervene here.
Yes,
Madam,
Mr. Sikri.
I would like to request Mr. Rajneesh, a very strong recommendation I am giving, which is a new concept. So far, nobody has thought of that. See, you can have, suppose you have a target of 10,000 store by 2024. These 10,000 store can be 30,000 store if you have a system of mobile retail Jan Aushadhi center. In the sense, I will buy a van which will cost me hardly 3 lakh rupees. That van can have 110 square feet covered area. Drug and Cosmetic Act can also be amended. That van will go to one particular wellness center for 4 hours. Then afternoon it will go to second center, and third it will go to evening another center. It means one van will have 3 locations, services to the common man, and common man will know कि सुबह 8 से 12 बजे के बीच में मुझे यहाँ दवाई मिलेगी. Second man will know that 12 से 4 मुझे यहाँ मिलेगी, and 4 to 8. If you can have this new concept, I know it will take some time. Drug and Cosmetic Act doesn't permit you to have this type of, but it doesn't need much changes in the act. They can do the amendment. You can discuss with CDSCO. This will be one of the unique. The reason is you are trying to reach availability to the common masses at their doorstep.
Okay.
That is one of the recommendation I would like to government to consider seriously. And this can really suddenly on one night you have 3 stores instead of 1 store.
Okay. So, Mr. Rajneesh, your comments here as far as Mr. Sikri's recommendation is concerned, and I would also like to ask you what more measures are being taken to strengthen the supply chains for the Jan Aushadhi medicines.
Mr. Sikri's suggestion is, of course, a very good suggestion, but as he said, this would require amendment in the Drug and Cosmetic Act. So we will certainly take it up with the CDSCO and Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. So, of course, that will require outside the domain of the department, but we will take it up. And as about the supply chain, as I've already indicated, as about the expansion of our warehouses and distributors. So we are not getting much complaints about delay in supply. And in case there are any delay, so we certainly take steps. And our bureau is quite proactive in case of any such request or such complaint of a delay in supply of medicine to stores. We do take steps.
Okay. Let me also bring in Ms. Sushmi Dey at this point. Ms. Dey, your comments here as far as, these measures that have been taken for strengthening the Jan Aushadhi scheme, vis-a-vis the new incentive plan and also the inclusion of 75 Ayush medicines, but also what more would you say needs to be done to strengthen the supply chain for more awareness, assuring the people that, these medicines are very much safe, these are quality medicines being provided here at the Kendras?
So, 2 things, quality and efficacy, of course, is crucial to the scheme, because unless there is trust, people will not, the demand will not increase and acceptability will not increase. So, I think that though BPPI has played a very important role over last few years in streamlining the whole process led by Department of Pharma, but there is a huge scope for improvement in terms of establishing the trust in Indian medicines or in the medicines which are being sold here in this particular case at Canals. So as such, India we know is known as the pharmacy of the world, and Indian generic medicines manufactured in India are being supplied and sold across the world, including in developed countries like US and UK. So, so as far as the question of safety and efficacy is concerned, there should not be concerns about it. But the government has to always create awareness, and campaigns have to go, and along with measures to ensure that the medicines which are being sold in India, which are being made and sold in India, are equally good as are being supplied by Indian companies to countries across the world. Okay. So that being one, the other issue is of pricing. See, medicines comprise a huge cost. As it is, the healthcare expenditure is high, and the out-of-pocket expenditure in our country is huge because of the less insurance penetration as compared to other countries. And of that the whole health expenditure, out-of-pocket expenditure, medicines constitute around 60% of it. So medicines play a very, very important role in a household, and especially when we are talking about poor and lower middle class families. Right. Even upper middle class families, So to reduce the health, the cost on health, it is important, the expenditure on health, it is important to control the expenditure on medicines, which forms a crucial part of it. So Jan Aushadhi stores play a very important role, because the medicines and the crucial, some of the critical medicines like cancer and cardiology, and now even the services are available at a very, very cheaper price. So the estimates which were given yesterday by the Prime Minister is around there is a saving of 3,600 per year, so which is significant. But there has to be more, and availability of drugs, the portfolio has to be expanded, so that those medicines which are really expensive are available, are also available at these stores, and people, the accessibility or the affordability factor is taken care of. That can happen by expansion of stores as well as expansion of product portfolios, and creating more and more awareness. I also want to endorse the idea of having these stores at health and wellness centers, because that will really help the accessibility of these this segment. And also coming together of two schemes, which I think has been a crucial point of agenda for this government, where we have been talking about minimum governance and also a single window clearance in a way, when you bring schemes together.
All right, with that we have come to the end of this show. Thanks very much to our guests here, Mr. Rajneesh, Mr. Sikri, Dr. Kamath and Ms. Dey. Thanks to all of you very much for joining us here on DD India and sharing your perspective on this very important topic that we have taken up today on the Self-Reliant India. Thanks very much. And with that, it's a wrap on this broadcast, but news and updates will continue here on DD India for the moment. Thanks very much for being with us.